What is going on, Babylonians? It's me, Songs of Rage, and I'm back with another synced video to be able to bring to yourselves, and today we're going to be having a quick look into something that we just managed to find within the files, and this is going to be something to do with gun tech. Now, gun tech is, what I can gather, is pretty much relative to what the weapon mods were back when we had the open beta, which was around December and January time, and while we did get to be able to mess about with a few of these, depending on our power level that we got into when it came to dead sectors, the gun tech seems to be taking this a step further, taking our standard weapon mods, which all of a sudden were pretty good in of themselves, but now allowing us to potentially upgrade these even further to increase their lethality and increase all the effects that they're going to be granting us. But before we go any further, make sure that you have dropped a like and subscribe if you did enjoy this video and you found it informative, and there will be plenty more synced content where this comes from, especially when it gets to that launch over in the summer. So once again, the direction or being able to tell me where to be able to find this was once again handed to us by that fantastic content creator known as Sabgay. And Sabgay is over on Twitch, and if you want to be able to go say hi or be able to say thank you for helping us be able to find this information, his Twitch link will be in the video description down below, so make sure you head yourselves over there. So let's have a discussion about what we already know when it comes to gun tech. Now, we did have a bunch of weapon mods. Pretty much it was either 4 or 5 for every single weapon class that existed in the game without pistols involved, because unfortunately you couldn't do much with the pistol class. So let's quickly recap what we already know when it comes to the weapon mods, what we had access to back in the beta. Now, we did have pretty much weapon mods of around about 4 to 5 for every single weapon class apart from the pistols, because unfortunately the pistol class did not get any love in that kind of regard. We saw things where shotguns were able to do knockback waves instead of being able to do buckshot damage. We saw SMGs that were able to have bullets return back to them or fire all of its entire mag within one click of the gun. We had snipers that were able to turn into grenade launchers. We had assault rifles that were able to automatically aim for us, so all we had to do was just hold down the trigger. And we also had some LMG madness going on with mini missiles being fired every 5 bullets. Now, some of these runner mods did actually help with making and breaking some of the builds, because we were able to try out some things on certain combinations, like knockback builds from being able to use shotguns, to be able to then, like for example myself, I was really big fan of being able to run Park, who got increased stability the longer you held down an LMG, and being able to then use the mini missiles with that to be able to increase my DPS. But the biggest and best one that pretty much existed was going to be the fire reflection one, which turned every single assault rifle into a burst fire gun, but every single bullet was able to apply that fire reflection, which worked really well in tandem with some of the other runner mods that you were able to find in the game. In of itself, these mods weren't broken, and so some of them were definitely better than others. Like I said, the Fire Affliction one was a fan favourite when it came to it, because Affliction builds were just that strong when you looked at all the mods that were in tandem. But that was pretty much it. As soon as you unlocked them, whether it was through like random completions of dead sectors or whether you reached a certain power level, you then had those access to those, and you pretty much never looked back as soon as you had access to any of those weapon mods. But it now looks like that next studios are going to be taking that next step towards creating or being able to evolve your builds over time, and that's going to be able to upgrade these gun mods. Now, I've got some great examples which we managed to find within the files of the game. For instance, the Black Hole or / Maelstrom mod, which was equipable to sniper rifles, is pretty much able to be shown here. And what we're able to gather from the files is that it goes from level 0, which I assume is going to be the very basic level as to what this mod is going to be doing, which is still going to be doing something for you, but it's just not going to be at its full potential. And it goes all the way up to level 5, and we're able to see a side-by-side comparison between the two of these mods. As you can see, the level 0 mod of this seems to be a relatively small radius, which means that it's not going to be affecting too many nanas. It's still going to be doing some work for you, it's still going to be doing some area effect, it's going to be doing some great crowd control in of itself, but it can be made more impressive as soon as we get to level 5, because as you can see, not only do we get a visual change, we're also getting a much larger radius, and I can only assume, because we can't see the damage numbers, that this is also going to increase in the amount of damage that it's going to be outputting as well. So overall, I think it's a great change for the Maelstrom. It's very interesting. It's definitely going to be worthwhile upgrading this one, especially if you are focusing heavily into that black hole kind of weapon mod, and being able to suck in the more enemies that you can do in every single shot is going to be making a massive difference. The other example that we do actually get to see inside the files, there are a couple others, but these are the ones that I'm going to focus on the most, because it's more, you can see it's easier, it's more clear and everything like that. It's going to be the Crescent, as it's known in the files, but this is going to be the knockback shockwave, and you can see that we've got a different color, then you can see the difference in terms of thickness, in terms of how long the actual shockwave is. So once again, we're going to be afflicting with more targets with knockback, but as well we're also going to be extending the range that this potentially can do, so it's going to be a little bit more forgiving the more you level this up. Now unfortunately we don't know much in terms of damage numbers because for some reason it's turned off when it comes to the actual in-game movies for this, but what we can assume is that every single time you level it up, and seeing as the majority of these are going to be doing damage, the ones that are going to be dealing direct damage are going to increase in the amount of damage they will be applying, so therefore it's going to be increasing the lethality of your builds to be able to do those higher kind of tier sectors a little bit easier with every single one. Overall, I think this is a great system. Not only is it giving us another reason to be able to go out there and start grinding into the PvE, which increases the amount of longevity, increases the amount of replayability between people to be able to go out there and start farming to be able to min-max your builds, but on top of that, it also is a great way to be able to show off to other people inside your team. So if, for example, you are randomly joining into another team, you are able to show with that visual effect that you are able to do more damage, or you're able to show off what your build can do, incentivizing other people to potentially come around and start trying to find out what that build actually is. As for how we're going to be able to reach those higher levels, unfortunately, as it currently stands, we couldn't find anything in the files to suggest how this is going to come about, how we're able to effectively do that. Is it just purely going to be from playing with the exact same mod over and over, or is it going to be a resource-based thing, and we need to be able to farm the dead sectors to be able to upgrade it over time? Unfortunately, we do not know that just yet, but if I do ever find that out, I will happily put a pinned comment in this video to be able to show you what it actually is, and then we can update this as time goes on. But there you have it. I want to know in the comment section down below, what do you think about upgradable weapon mods in this game? Do you like the idea that you've got something else to be able to work towards, to be able to farm towards, rather than just having your standard runner mods, and just being able to have something else that factors into your build to be able to increase your DPS? And if so, if you did play in the beta, which of those weapon mods would you like to be able to see upgraded more? And give me some ideas in the comment section down below how you think you would be able to upgrade some of them. Like, for example, if you did use the Burst Fire Affliction, how would you potentially upgrade it to be able to show it different from level 0 all the way up to level 5? Massive thank you for making your way to the end of the video. Massive thank you to the Babylonian family, as always, for their continued support. It really does help the channel out, and their names appear at the end of every single one of our videos. And like I said, if you did find this video enjoyable and you want to see more sync content from us, make sure that you do drop that like and subscribe. It really does help the channel out, and let you know how you'll be able to find us ready for more sync content when it does drop. But with all that said and done, it just leaves me to say, keep yourselves safe, keep yourselves well, and I'll see you all on our next video.